Almost Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to get started with this taste of Shabbat with a little Hava Nashira. It has been a week, to say the least. If I get one more CDC COVID update on my phone, I think I might go crazy. But we're going to let that all go for the moment because it is Shabbat, and we are going to welcome in this rest with a little singing the words of Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing. Hava Nashira, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Hava Nashira, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Nice to be with you, Cantor. Nice to be with everyone. I hope you have had a good week. And yes, with all those updates, it's nice for us to transition into the only update that matters, which is it's about to be Shabbat. So with that, we have to kick it off with candles and Kiddush and Motzi. So turn it over. Let's see if it works.
Let's see
Always
what works.
that
That's always like the ugh. Okay, I invite you guys to light with me at home. Oh, first time.
Nice.
Look at that. Well, now I spoke too soon. Okay, we're going to bring in that beautiful light and comfort of Shabbat 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. For those of you who are about to enjoy your Shabbat dinner with your family, we'll join together in a quick Kiddush and Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishan b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zeichel yitziat mitzrayim kivanu v'harta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadish hashabbat lechayim.
L'chaim.
And last but not least, we'll have a little motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min ha'aretz Amen. Again, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to continue to welcome in Shabbat with the words of L'Charodi. Normally, this is an acrostic of 9 verses, but because this is just a taste of Shabbat, we're going to be singing verses 1 and 9 together as we welcome in Shabbat in the form of our Sabbath bride. Yalalalai L'Charodi, Yalalalai Likrat Kala, Yalalalai Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat, Nekavela, Yalalalai L'Charodi, Yalalalai Likrat Kala, Yalalalai Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat, Nekavela. Shamor v'zachor, v'dibur echad, Ishmianu el hamiyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, v'shemo tiferet, en litchila. Lai, 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 yalalalai L'Charodi, yalalalai Likrat Kala, yalalalai Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat, Nekavela. I ask you to rise from wherever you're standing or where you're seated as we welcome in the Sabbath bride. Boi v'shalom, atzeret ba'ala, gam b'simcha, u'b'tzola, tochem b'nei, am segula, boi chala, boi chala, lai, 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 yalalalai L'Charodi, yalalalai Likrat Kala, yalalalai Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat, Nekavela, yalalalai L'Charodi, yalalalai Likrat Kala, yalalalai Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat, Nekavela.
I've been watching a lot of the Olympics this week. And of course, the big story this week was Simone Biles and her decision to opt out of some of the competition for her own mental health because her head wasn't in the game and because of the pressure that was mounting all around her to be the greatest of all time. There's another person in our tradition who deals with this as well, someone who feels overwhelmed by his position, that is Moses. Unlike Simone Biles, who, from what it seems, didn't necessarily get the support system from the gymnastics organization here in America that she necessarily needed, Moses has his father-in-law, Jethro, who tells him, you can't do this alone. You need to set up a system of delegation so that you're not the only one making decisions and dealing with all the mishigas of all these Jewish people as we wander through the desert. And it's actually the story that comes right before the Ten Commandments, almost as though it's a commentary to suggest you can't actually make this world a better place and take on the mitzvot of our tradition if you are trying to do it alone. You need a support system. So on this Shabbat, think about, what is your support system? Who is on your team? And maybe this is a weekend on this Shabbat where you can reach out to one of those people and just say, thank you for being on my team. Thank you for supporting me, because we all need that support system. Because when we don't have that, we just can't succeed the way we potentially could with the support. So with that, we turn to the watchword of our faith. We talked about last week that it was in last week's Torah portion, but we say it every single day. We continue now with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
This week's Torah portion is Akev, and there's a really interesting point that comes in this week's Torah portion. You know, we usually say a blessing before we eat something, right? We just offered the blessing Kiddush and Motzi before we had our wine and our challah. But there's something very important that we learn in this week's Torah portion, and that is the need to say a blessing after we eat. The basis for the Birkat Hamazon comes in this week's Torah portion, where it says in Deuteronomy 8:10, "When you have eaten your fill, give thanks to Adonai your God for the good land which God has given you." What our tradition is teaching is that it's not just enough for us to offer thanks when we are about to receive something or when we want something, when we desire. That is not the time to offer prayers alone. One of the most important times that we are supposed to offer thanks and to show our gratitude is when we are already satisfied, when we feel fulfilled, not when we're only yearning to feel fulfilled, but once we are sitting back, when we have enjoyed the bounty of our lives. That, according to our tradition in this week's Torah portion, that is the time where we have to offer our gratitude. So, Birkat Hamazon is not just to say thanks after the meal. It's really an important indication that gratitude is a central component of what it means to be Jewish. And gratitude not only in anticipation with what we want in the world, but also to find satisfaction in what we already have and to offer thanks. So also on the Shabbat, can you find a moment to turn to the people you love, to think about the things you already have in your life, and to say thank you? With that, we are going to move, of course, to a moment of silent reflection, always a space, especially on Shabbat, where we are supposed to quiet our minds and our souls and just take a moment to reflect.
Wherever that field is, I just want to go there. It's like on my bucket list of things to do. So in the spirit of Shabbat and being able to have this time together, we're going to conclude our time with, of course, a prayer for peace, for our world, peace within ourselves. The words of Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. Have a wonderful Shabbat.
Bye.